The following is a presentation of the ForceCenter podcast feed.
As Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, hello there and welcome to Databank Brawl, the podcast where we learn about Star Wars characters, discuss them, share our feelings about those characters, and then make them fight for our amusement and yours. I'm your host. My name is Joseph Scrimshaw. With me, as always, is Ken Napzok and Whiskey.
And definitely whiskey this time. And I have my notepad from last time where I've written down the word Buca de Beppo, the new character in Star Wars canon.
That's right. Buca de Beppo is canon. It feels good to be back to form. We've been recording often early or when we're busy, running off to somewhere else, so Whiskey could not make an appearance. This is lovely that Whiskey's back.
Cheers indeed. Yeah, you know, the original, I think the first batch of Databank Brawls seemed to be always recorded about 9:30 at night.
Yeah. We do them at the end of another recording. It's like, oh, man, it's getting late. It's whiskey o'clock.
So we're back here today.
Yeah, we're back. And, you know, this has been really fun to have so many kind of different new things in Star Wars. We get to jump around on the eras that we are covering. Right. We did a Star Wars Resistance episode for the premiere, but now we are back to the fertile ground of Solo, a Star Wars story.
Okay.
To keep adding more great weirdos.
I like that.
So are you ready for a weirdo?
I am definitely ready.
Okay.
Ready? I'm ready. I'm ready for a weirdo.
Wow. Databank Brawl.
Databank marriage.
Our first combatant. We're not going to do those voices the whole time. I almost... Nope. Time to move on. Our first combatant is Glaucus, which I can't not say like Jerry Lewis and Professor Frank from The Simpsons. Glaucus. Here's what the StarWars.com databank has to say about Glaucus. A combination of small hands and other oversized features put Glaucus at a disadvantage at the sabacc table. As such, he prefers to be a spectator rather than run the risk of his opponent getting a glimpse at the reflection of his cards in his incredibly large eyeball. Some call him Big Guy, others Big Eye. Fortunately, for those he encounters, he has yet to notice the difference.
Give me a spelling on Glaucus, because I'm totally aware of the character, but not the spelling.
Glaucus. 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 It's a wonderful cheer.
Yes.
So Glaucus.
Ah, yeah.
This is, we are students not only of the characters, but of the databank entries and how they're written. And this one's got some meat to it. It's very funny and flavorful, that idea that his cards would be reflected in his eyeball. And clearly that Glaucus is sensitive about his eyeball, because if somebody calls him Big Eye, he just kind of pretends they said Big Guy. Otherwise... there would be hell to pay, and there might be here in Databank Brawl.
Might be indeed. Oh yeah. Well, you're looking for some. Stats. Some stats and stories.
Hit us up with Wikipedia.
So how are we saying this species? Octoroid.
You know, it doesn't. Octoroid. Okay, I get it. Like eyes.
Yeah.
His species is not listed in the databank, so that's new to me.
Octoroid, Octeroid, Octoroid. Gender male, eye color yellow, 1. Skin color green, but that's it. But it's a bigger character. It's a hulking character, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. A giant, physically large character.
Right. That's it for the stats. Interesting. I would expect a little bit more, but it's also early in the Solo reign. He wore a brown robe with a brown fur cloak over it, and had atmospheric exchange breathing tubes connected to a collar around his neck, which you can see that more as I bring up the picture. You can see it a little bit more detail, and that big eye for the big guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's he pretty much is just a big eye. I'm trying to pull up an image of him, and I got distracted because there is a Glaucus in mythology, in Greek myth, that doesn't seem to have done anything that interesting.
So Glaucus, glaucoma, we got a lot of eyes.
I think
a lot of eyes.
I think that's what it is. I think when I read this, it's like, glaucoma, got it. And then I saw that there is a Glaucus in Greek myth, and I thought maybe there's something deeper. But no, I think we're looking at glaucoma.
I think, we here at ForceCenter love digging deep, but sometimes it's just on the surface, I guess, is the lesson here.
So he doesn't have any other tales or travails in Wikipedia.
So, well, he's got a little bit here because of... I think he appeared in Lando Double or Nothing Part 5, which is brief. I just read that issue. It's brief. I wouldn't say it's a big appearance, but Han on the Run and Meet the Crew, some of the solo Star Wars books.
Cool.
So you're getting little tiny stories of him. But mostly what they're describing here is his time at Fort Ipso on Vandor and witnessing the historic, one of the two historic Sabacc games.
The first historic Sabacc game. Yeah, and man, just to look at him, he is a looker. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got that big, strong unibrow type shape.
Yes.
That rigid unibrow above his kind of big, swollen eye.
Yeah. Creature concept designer Jake Lunt Davies revealed that for Glaucus' design, Ivan Manzella was influenced by the space monster field in the 1950s. Taking his inspiration, what would have influenced the designers had Solo been released in 1965, 10 years prior to 1977.
Oh, that's a nice chain of thought.
10 years-ish. So, yeah, that's Ivan Manzella is a senior sculptor for Solo.
Okay, yeah. And he's got like a fur jacket cloak thing, right?
Yeah. Does it not quite a cape?
Yeah.
Here's a picture of him standing. Look, I love, and it's hard to... This sounds like a critique. These pictures are dark, but that's actually one of my favorite parts of Solo is Bradford Young using natural light. I love that. But yeah, you can see him standing like, say... almost like he's got like a Jon Snow Night's Watch kind of Ned Stark outfit on.
Yeah, with breathing tubes.
Imagine Kodos and Kang from Simpsons with one eye.
If Kodos and Kang were in the Night's Watch,
yes,
you'd get Glaucus. Are you finding his hands anywhere?
No.
Yeah, because there's a weird entry in Databank. It says a combination of small hands and other oversized features put Glaucus at a disadvantage. So he must have little wee hands.
Little wee hands.
Little tiny alien hands.
All right, and yep, you definitely type up Glaucus, you get another, a lot of mythology here. Trying to look here. There's some designs, nothing. I guess, if you go to the Star Wars Visual Dictionary. Oh, that's an Amazon link. I've already bought it. Don't need it now. Thank you. I am not seeing clear hand design.
Okay, well, we'll just have to imagine that is that maybe a hand? Is that his hand? I don't know. It's not fair, but we just have to focus on the eye, I guess. What else are we going to do?
That's the point.
All right, so we don't know a lot about Glaucus. That's fine. We can infer or make some stuff up. Yeah. How do you feel about Glaucus?
I do really like the character of Glaucus. It is completely bizarre.
Yeah.
It's completely sci-fi inspired, and though I always come down on the side of, hey, Star Wars is more fantasy than science fiction, it's got sci-fi in it. Let's not deny that. And a lot of the influences, and Glaucus looks like he could definitely have fought Flash Gordon in 1933.
Yeah.
And so that makes it, to me, it makes the character perfect for Star Wars.
Yeah, it's cool to know that was his origin, because he looks like he wandered in off of the set of a B movie, being like, wow, this is an amazingly well done character, creature. I love how he looks kind of old school 50s, 60s sci-fi, but then also that eye. I mean, it's so funny. It's so over the top in some ways. It looks so swollen. It absolutely does look like, all the Sauron Visine jokes of the past.
Yeah. Swollen. I don't want a swollen eye, but yes, you're not wrong.
When you get red eye, what if that was an alien? That's Glaucus. All right, we both like a big eye. Not big guy. He finds that insulting. Big eye. We will move on. Are you ready for Glaucus's combatant?
Yes, sir.
Our next combatant is Argus Six Eyes Panox.
Yeah.
You're going to have a whole big old eye brawl.
Databank eye brawl.
So here's what the Databank has to say. Argus's multiple flexible eye stalks give him a clear advantage at the Sabacc table, but his reputation precedes him, and other players are on the lookout for his wandering. Always watching the competition, Argus thoughtfully chews his cud before making his next move. Another great flavorful entry on the databank.
Yes. Quote being eyes on your own cards, buddy. All of them.
Yes.
Alden's excellent little joke in that moment there. Azumel male, huh? Azumel and what is it? Octoroid. All right. Not much there. It goes straight to the behind the scenes here on Wikipedia. Male, eyes blue, skin color brown, with some speckles. No height given yet. And he's got that nice little bomber jacket on, a little fur-lined bomber jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Green shirt underneath. Looks like something from Pan's Labyrinth. 6 eyes indeed.
Oh, yeah. 6 eyes and looks like 3 fingers on his Denny's collectible card, which I have at home.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
That was where his name was first identified.
Yeah.
Trading cards.
Yeah, he's one of the first weirdos we met. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, how would you describe his? Obviously, he's got the 6 eyes. They're all spread out either side of his face, 3 to each side, nice and even. Pretty short eye stalks. Guy has a little. I think some of us, when we saw him, thought he was going to be a Gran, like Reese, right?
Yep.
But he's not. He's got 6 eyes and a slightly different face. A little cow-like. I get where they're getting the cud from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm bringing up the images, more images here as well. Yeah, 3 fingers. I didn't even.
Ooh, yeah, and a weird pointy chin. His chin kind of comes 2 little points.
Yeah, he got a little butt chin.
He's got a butt chin.
I got a butt chin too, so I'm with you, Argus. I cover mine with my gray beard now, but yep, I like it. Hands on his belt. Got some good trousers going.
Yeah, and I pulled up a photo where he's got a lot of moisture on his face.
Oh.
Those nostrils, those lips, man, it looks like somebody just, oh, man, he looks like he's got a terrible cold.
Yeah.
So that's good to know that Argus can get a cold.
Right. I like that a lot. Okay, I like that.
All right.
I like that.
How do you feel about this character? Because there's nothing else to know. This is his only scene. He's not in any other canon.
This is going to be a fun fight. A lot to create it. I do like Argus, probably even more than Glaucus, only because we get to see Argus kind of interact a little bit more with Han, and I love that moment. I think it's great. And I love, too, that this is like a practical creature here, that they got this guy, an actor inside playing him, and that's all big win for me all around. Love this character. There's just there's a real big story in his face.
Yeah, he's seen some things. Obviously, he's got 6 eyes. He's seen a lot of things, but he seems to have some weight in it. So this will be fun because they're 2 people we know from Sabak. One who cannot play it because his eye is too big, and another who is accused of cheating because he has many wandering eyes.
Wandering eyes.
Fascinating. With that, let's fight. So as always, we start with kind of the where, the when. It's pretty wide open. Neither of these characters have died in canon.
Right.
Hell, this could be, we don't know how long they live. This could be during the events of The Force Awakens if we want. We can do whatever we want.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's so wide open, and I don't know why I keep coming back to wanting him to be at a Sabak game, but doesn't he need to, maybe we can stretch and say it's not.
Yeah,
maybe.
Either way.
Maybe. Because I think we're gonna at some point we'll have some Sabak fights.
Yeah.
In our Databank lives. Maybe this is after a fight. Maybe what has happened is at some point Argus was accused of cheating, and it cost Glaucus a victory, and Glaucus feels as though he was cheated from the victory from Argus, and they've run into each other at a point in time after the game.
Yeah. You know what? This just occurred to me. It's just because we haven't been there in a long time. Let's imagine this is during the Galactic Civil War.
Okay.
Before Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Lando's bored. So he invited a bunch of the old gang to a fun Sabak game at Cloud City.
Love this.
And he was like, you know what? Lobot's watching over everything. So Glaucus, you can play. Nobody's going to accuse you of cheating. We've got the lights set to this perfect level that the cards won't be reflected in your eye. So you and your tiny hands can play. 6 eyes, keep your eyes to yourself, and we'll have a fun old time.
Could this been a part, maybe like the Bespin Cloud City housewarming? Like Lando's like,
Lando recently purchased it. Yeah.
I got this new thing, this new endeavor.
Yeah, I love that.
Invite the old friends over.
Yeah, have a good time.
The
Play
housewarming
some cards.
sabacc tournament.
Yeah, no big stakes. And as always, things got rowdy. Lando retired to his room, possibly with Twi'lek. Who knows?
Sure. Yeah.
Who knows?
I like that.
And then, maybe, who do you think won the actual sabacc game between Glaucus, Argus, or neither of them?
I think neither of them, but Glaucus got knocked out. Argus then was left with the winner of the said tournament.
1-on-1.
Yeah, and Glaucus felt he was cheated. Felt he was cheated out of what was going on.
So Glaucus thinks that Argus actually did cheat him.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, I like this. So let's say that Argus has won the tournament.
Okay,
he won.
He won the tournament. I like that.
He
raised
won
the stakes.
He won the thing. Why not? Okay. Why not? Right?
I like that.
And everybody's at the after party. Maybe Argus is like, well, I'm just gonna get out of here.
Yeah, I think they're in the dining room.
Okay,
but later Vader would be in, and Argus. You're saying Argus is like feeling the heat. I gotta go.
Yeah, I think so. I like the dining room. I think that's great.
He gets up to go for the table.
Yeah,
pushes the table back, and he just kind of like, I gotta go.
And he spits his cud. Ding! He misses.
Naturally. Lobot looks down at the floor.
A security guard comes over and starts cleaning it up. And Argus is like, what kind of voice did you give him there?
He's like,
like that kind of guy.
Gotta go.
Yeah, I'm on platform 327. I got some business. And he starts to head out and attempting to move subtly with his massive body. Yeah. Glaucus follows.
Glaucus.
Do you think anybody misses that Glaucus is trying to slowly slide along the walls?
I think Hondo Anaka looks up.
Nice.
He's just kind of there. Oh, yeah, I'm sure he and Lando are friends at some point, right?
Friends, enemies,
frenemies, all of it. And I think, hey, I can't do Hondo's voice. Hey, where's the big eye going? And everyone just kind of looks, and he just, boom.
Yeah, and I think he just says, refresher. Nobody believes him.
Perfect voice. Yeah. Anyone find it? That's not Six Eyes. That's another character. Anyone find it weird that Six Eyes and Glaucus left at the same time there? They don't really like each other. I heard they had a fight down at the tournament.
Yeah, and a Snivian that people always call Snaggletooth. And it really bugs him, but nobody can remember his real name. Snaggletooth's like, I don't know. It's not our problem. They're probably going to kill each other. Anybody feel a need to stop that? No.
Lobot makes a little on his watch.
I like that. So then I think we cut to platform 327. Where Argus's ship is parked.
He's got a converted LAT, one of the low-altitude armored transports in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's the Republic gunship.
It's the equivalent of like a Volkswagen van. He's like, I stay in it a little bit, like it's good, man. I sleep at go around. I went to Scarif before that blew up. I used to just lay on the beach.
Yeah.
So he's starting to head towards that ship, and Glaucus is moving fast behind him. As fast as Glaucus.
Boom, 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 boom. And I think Argus whirls around. Actually, his eyes whirl first on one side of his head. But Glaucus' eyes is so huge, he can see this movement. He's got full peripheral vision. Mm-hmm. In moving shockingly fast, Glaucus dodges behind a large sculpture.
Oh, yeah.
And Six Eyes isn't sure if he saw him or not.
Does Glaucus freeze like the sculpture?
Yeah, behind it. Sort of like Charlie Brown with the tree, but a little bit better.
A little bit better. Okay.
Yeah. And Argus isn't sure if Glaucus is following him or not.
Yeah. He looks around with one eye. Kind of.
Yeah. And another eye on his entry, the door to his.
It is. Yeah. He's fumbling with the keys.
Yeah. His bachelor pad gunship.
Waterbed in the back.
And then I think Glaucus, realizing he's too loud.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He grabs the sculpture, which he hits a button on it. It's got like a little hover function because it's very big, and that's how you move it from place to place. Glaucus kind of gets on the sculpture and is riding it. Getting ever closer and closer to Argus. He's going to try to get him before he gets on that ship.
Okay.
With his tiny hands clinging to this large art sculpture that you see on Bespin.
Okay. Is he able to... I feel like I'm playing charades or something. Is he able to push the sculpture in 3 syllables or less? Like, is he able to push and try to squish? I guess when I want...
Yeah, let's see. He's trying to
Let
crush
me ask the
Argus.
dungeon master. I'd like to roll for squishing.
I think let's make an attempted squish.
Attempted squish.
I think that Glaucus is trying to squish Argus.
Yes, that's up against his own ship.
Up against his own ship.
Yeah.
But Argus just hears a little... Is that just the winds up here on Cloud City?
It gets kind of windy around these parts.
Does he turn around in time?
3 of his eyes. One's on the right. And they all bulge. The sculpture, he turns around fully, whips around just in time to put his hands up and stop the sculpture a little bit.
Yeah.
But Glaucus has a lot of mass into this push.
He says.
It sounds like a dying cow. And I love it. And boom! And
he hits him, right?
he hits him.
He hits Argus.
It's not so Argus is able to push back and deflect it a little bit, just enough to where it hits Argus, but also hits into the Republic gunship.
Yeah,
the converted gunship.
And I think that Glaucus hops off and is like, "You stole my money," but then realizes his coat, Glaucus's coat, has got snared by the sculpture, which is now just lightly drifting toward the edge of the platform. So he gets yanked,
and he like falls to the ground with the it's still he's still connected to the sculpture.
He managed to close his eye, or it would have ruptured everything.
We talk about swollen eye, and he's slowly being dragged like a low speed car chase.
Yeah,
just.
Now, how hurt do you think Argus got? Do you think like this was a bruising, or do you think a rib was broken?
Yeah, maybe rib, but he's I think he's a sturdy cat, so I think he's
bruised and winded, but
winded,
up in the fight.
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
Okay, so what does he do? Do you think Argus gets accused of cheating all the time?
Right.
What if this game, it's the one time he didn't? He won for real for once because he got sick of never being invited. He hasn't been invited to a game in many, many moons. And then Lando does. He's like, I'm gonna not cheat. And he's so proud.
This is his time to prove himself.
Yeah.
So he's really insulted,
bruised.
Yeah, bruised. But here's the quandary. Here's the moral dilemma. He looks over and he sees Glaucus, slowly being pulled to probably his death.
Maybe.
So Argus has a choice. I don't have to do anything. This fight might have already been won for me.
It didn't mean to end the fight so soon, but these things happen.
Yeah.
I think that Argus wants Glaucus to know that he didn't cheat at least, right? So I think he runs up the Glaucus. I think he stamps a big booted foot on the big fur collar of Glaucus's jacket. So he's keeping them there for a second. There's that tension as the coat is kind of pulling him in 2 different directions now. Right. So Argus can bring all 6 eyes boom, down on Glaucus's one big eye. And what do you think Argus says to him?
Look here, I normally would let you fall to your death, but I've got to, my reputation's at stake. I won that game fair and square. And I'm tired of being accused of cheating. I only cheated 22% of the times I've been accused of cheating. So I want you to understand that I didn't cheat. You lost fair and square because I'm a better card player than you. That's quite a monologue from Argus. Krennic would be proud. But that's what he says. He gets it all out.
And he gives Glaucus plenty of time to just think about how he gets treated by not only life, but just objects in the galaxy. It seems like the galaxy is against him. He didn't choose to be born with one giant eye for everybody to make fun of him all the time. And now he was trying to be stealthy. He was trying to stand up for himself. And then he's been insulted by this sculpture, and I think he's had enough.
Yeah.
And I think he says, I've had enough. And he reaches up and he grabs Argus's leg. Mm-hmm. Argus is not expecting this because Glaucus's hands are so tiny, but they have strange amount of strength. They're like baby hands.
Yeah.
They're baby hands in size and the power of gripping. Right. You know how babies have super grip. Super grip.
Because they're gripping for their life.
That's right. So he grabs Argus's ankle for his life, pulls Argus down. Argus flaps onto the ground, and suddenly, in that moment, that's when the sculpture goes over the edge.
Okay.
And I think they both start falling through the beautiful clouds of Cloud City.
Okay. And they're falling, and they have a lot of time. It's a big free fall here. And they look at each other, and I think Glaucus is like, look what you did. Look what you did. Is that the voice? I don't know. Oh, look what you did. I sound like Tom Brokaw. Look right, those generation.
Look what you did, the Christian.
And Argus is like, no, you did this. You did this.
So they're fighting.
They're fighting over who did it.
Like an old married couple.
Waldorf and Statler Waldorf here.
Yeah. And I think Glaucus screams, it's not fair. Nothing ever goes my way. Wham! They land in the middle of a cloud car. Just happened to be coming by.
Right.
They land. The cloud car was not trying to save them.
Right.
The cloud car was just going about its duties, just checking.
On patrol.
Wham! Huge sculpture. I think the sculpture explodes. It shatters.
Right.
And these two aliens are suddenly clinging to this cloud car.
That's hard for Glaucus.
Yeah. So Glaucus has got one hand holding on, and I think the other balls into a fist, and is like, you know what? I think you should only have one eye too. And he starts punching Argus's eyes,
like in a pattern, like each of the eyes. Is he like that's what he's doing? Is he working one eye at a time?
He's working one eye at a time. Yeah, he's like he's just one side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. He's conducting a waltz on Argus's eyes.
And the other remaining eyes of Argus are squinting in pain.
Yeah,
and Argus, he's got a grip of like a little cable or something on top. I don't know.
Yeah.
In the center of the cloud car. But Argus is trying to swing his feet up.
Yeah.
To get a little more of an advantage. And he does. He swings his feet up and then starts trying to pry the fingers of Glaucus off.
So he's ready to just murder Glaucus.
He's like, I've got 6 eyes. I can take damage in at least 2 and still try to succeed in this fight.
What do you think the cloud car pilots are doing?
Freaking out. Because this is like the first month that Lando's been there. Trying to make things, and this big event's going on. It took Lando about a month. You housewarming, you want to wait a little bit till you're settled in. So it's been about a month. There's been a little uprising in the Ugnaughts workers union, a little bit of problems here. Lando tried to get some puffer pigs in. That didn't work. So the cloud car guys are like, oh, Lando's not going to be happy. Lando is not going to be happy. Control, cloud car 19 here. We got some kind of disturbance. I got 2 creatures. A lot of eyes fighting.
A lot of punching, a lot of wet smacking sounds. Do you want us to come back in, or?
Yeah, one of them's chewing. I think that's Cud.
I think there's Cud being spat. Do you want me to bring it back up, or do you want me to do some cool spins and drop him into the abyss?
Can I permission for spins? Permission for spins requested.
Yeah, and what? This is crazy.
Yeah,
this is utterly crazy. But you put it in my mind.
Yeah.
That Lobot had some idea that trouble was going to happen, right? Because he typed it in, right?
Yeah. So
what do you think Lobot was setting up? Was he sending security guards? Was that a reminder, like, check on these guys in 5 minutes?
His reminder was, at first it was just a potential disturbance report into the computer system, but also he was looking up who these people are in the database.
Okay.
He's plugged into that computer. So he's trying to find out who they really are. Lando's got a bunch of friends. Lobot.
Let's see.
They were old pals, Lobot and Lando, but Lobot, we all have that friend who's like, I don't know about your pal Biff.
Oh yeah. No, he's not going to pay rent. No, Biff's not coming in on the group living situation.
So,
no.
Lobot's looking it up. Gamblers, degenerates, Lando's favorite type, I know, but so he's trying to determine if he has them killed, would there be any repercussions?
So Lobot is debating whether to order the death of Glaucus and Argus.
Spin permission has been requested. He's about to give it or not. He's to make that determination. Yeah.
All right. I think that he gives. He tells them, "You should spin. Do it above platform 327. Try to drop them back there because they might have some money on them."
That's true.
And I don't trust that Lando is going to make the best business decisions. And if I can use this as an excuse to take the money back that Argus won, that is the most logical.
I like that. So the cloud car pilot.
Cool spins. Now, Glaucus is still punching away. Argus, I think, is using his good three hands to maybe like try to get big slashes at Glaucus's eye. Right? They're trying to fight as best as they can. Right? They're exchanging blows.
Yeah, because if Glaucus closes his eye, that's his only eye. He blinks, right?
He blinks, and that's
if he can.
I mean, I fought many enemies like him playing Legend of Zelda. They close their eyes, and they're no longer vulnerable. So I think those punches are like they hurt, but he's not getting to the sweet spot.
Right.
That big, juicy eye.
So the cloud car spins over platform 327. Right?
Yeah, cool spin.
The pilot's like, oh, that's going to be great one day.
Yeah.
I'm okay. If the Empire ever wants to come here, I'll fight them.
This is a good trick.
In the control center, they're like, wow, Pilot 19 just did a good spin.
Pilot 19 is bored.
Yeah. So Glaucus and Argus lose their grip and start falling to the surface of the platform.
Yeah. And I think they...
Lobot's like, I bet they damaged my platform.
There's probably about a dent in there.
Lando.
Who do you think... how did they land? Did one land on the other? Did they both land like nimble cats? What happened?
As they fell, there was a jockeying for position because Argus is thinking, if I can get on top of Glaucus, I might survive this.
Yeah. But Glaucus is big, so if Glaucus is on top, that's death.
Glaucus reaches out his little hands and starts grabbing for that jacket, that bomber jacket that Argus has, and then he tries grabbing on and going to flip him midair.
Oh, yeah, the old midair flip.
I think what ends up happening is they end up sideways, side by side, and they both land. Splat, same.
Yeah.
Not one or the other.
And I think what happens is that Argus is wearing this very cool looking, it's fur-lined, but it's basically a fanny pack. And that's where he's holding all of his winnings.
Oh, yes.
And I think the fanny pack, as they hit, explodes, right?
Yep.
So many riches, all sorts of different kinds of, money of different species, Republic credits and dactaries.
Dactaries. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All sorts of...
poor snippets.
Yeah.
That's not money, but some people try to pass it off as money.
All sorts of that different currency we saw thrown out there on that sabacc table in Solo. Just spreads everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I think they both stand up, breathing heavy. They've had the riches played out in front of them, and they are at this moment where they could have so many choices. This is a choose-your-own-adventure book. They could go for the riches. Argus could try to escape for his life. Either of them could continue the fight and try to kill the other. I think this is a good place to pause our combat.
Yeah.
And decide who we think deserves to win, who we want to win.
I went in to this fight liking Argus a little bit more, and I think I'm at a neutral place with both fighters.
Yeah.
Which means Glaucus has kind of risen a little bit.
Yeah.
And Argus has kind of lost some points. I think both of them are a little more bumbling than I would have originally thought. Maybe not with Argus. Point being, I wouldn't mind them both in some way losing. But if I had to pick a winner, I'd say Argus this time around has the moral high ground.
I think so too. I went in really liking Glaucus, but then the story that was told, he's a hard luck guy, Glaucus.
Yeah.
But
I can identify with that.
He didn't handle himself well. He got pretty violent pretty quick, which happens on Databank Brawl. That's
often, yeah.
The nature. It happens. But he definitely does not have the moral high ground. He might have the physical high ground.
Yeah. Glaucus,
A little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's tell a tale where Glaucus really gets the licks in a straight fight. Just in a cage match, Glaucus would win, but ultimately Argus comes out the moral victor.
The moral victor.
So I think the way the story begins is they're frozen in that moment of indecision
on the platform. Okay.
Yeah, and I think Glaucus realizes like everybody tries to limit me to being just one thing because I have just one large eye.
Right.
But sometimes one thing can actually be two things. He scoops up a bunch of the money. He's like, I can take this and hit you with it. Two things. It's not strategically smart to describe exactly his actions, but still he does. But he takes two little handfuls of the sharp credits, weird things, and just starts pummeling both sets of Argus eyes with the money. Just boom, 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 boom. He's towering over him, He's got a little bit of an angle on him. He's got an edge. Just vicious and cruel. Not going well for Argus physically.
Have you witnessed this in a bar fight or something? Because you got this one down. This is one of the most cringe-inducing ones in my. I'm feeling my eyes here.
I know. How could you not with the Glaucus one eye against Argus 6 eyes? Come on.
There's the on.
Yeah. It's not pretty. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
And Argus is like, as he tries to fight back. If a ref was here, he'd call it a tap out. But Argus is like, he can't go on. But he realizes Glaucus has given up the money. In a weird way, Glaucus is admitting to the defeat of the game.
Right, that he has to take this because it's not his. It doesn't rightfully belong to him.
Right. So Argus is like even says that. So it looks like you've accepted that I beat you in the game, fair and square.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
He says, no matter what happens in this fight, I actually won. And I think that gives Glaucus pause for just a second. Mm-hmm. It's a vital second because Argus realizes he's got one move that he can do to try to escape with his life.
Right.
And he wells up from his throat. Huge wad of cud. And as Glaucus takes this moment to think, his brow furrowed pensively. Huge piece of cud right in that giant eye.
Did you plan that? It's perfect. It's poetic. It rhymes. Star Wars poetry. Yes. The cud, which has a slight acid nature to it. Bile. Just. Glaucus, with his tiny little hands, grabs his big giant eye. Stumbles away. He runs back into Cloud City looking for the water station, right? Yes.
To save his eye.
Pull and break glass in case of emergency, pull string to activate water. Yes. And Argus is left there.
Yeah.
On the platform near his converted gunship into minivan, with the money around.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you think Argus feels in this moment? What does he say anything
he
out loud?
He looks around with his eyes bleeding, jacket ripped, body in pain, bruises already forming. And he looks around and he says, I earned that money. I earned that money. That money's mine.
I love that. And he starts to pile it up. He's getting it all. He's getting it in there. He gets to the door of his awesome bachelor gunship. Lobot marches out on the platform, surrounded by 3 Bestman security guards. Blasters out.
Right.
And I think Lobot has something to say.
You must leave. Well, I guess does Lobot speak at this point? No.
Oh, yeah. I guess the Bestman security guards have something to say for Lobot.
Lobot communicates something. You there, Six Eyes, Panox, you must leave. But first, we must collect a tax for the landing platform damage. blasters out.
Yeah.
You'll take 30% of your winnings.
And how does Argus react?
He thinks, looks down with his one good eye left, and he'll have use of the others. They're just
They'll
swollen right
recover,
now.
yeah.
He looks down and he's like, well, all right. I think that's fair. Because that's what I am. Fair. And you tell the world that I'm fair.
Yeah.
He hands over some money. Gets in his gunship. Flies off. Happy.
Content.
Proud.
Yeah. And I think Lobot makes a note on his watch that says, Lando's old friends are always a problem. And sets a reminder to go off every day on his Apple iLobot watch.
Yes. Yes. Glaucus does get to the station.
He
station.
saves his eye from the acidic cud. But I think he is forever marked that he can't just go around taking his anger out on innocent people, on innocent Azumel aliens like Argus, Six Eyes, Panox. I think that's the end of our fight, but do you have any post-credit scenes that come to mind?
I do. Not too much later in time. Lando's sitting around, and he gets a communication from the tower. We have someone requesting to land. They're looking for you. Says his name is Han Solo. Lando looks up. He's like, Han Solo, man. It's an old buddy of mine. And all of a sudden, Lobot shoots up and just looks. And a little reminder on his little watch. Old buddies of Lando are always problems.
And that is really the story that is the prequel to The Empire Strikes Back.
That's the one.
That was a fun one. It was full of eyes and action. That's what we want right here. It's hard sometimes when we like both of the characters. And you'd really like them to just have a chat, but it's not Databank Chat.
No.
It's Databank Brawl.
Not yet.
And they must fight. Someday we'll do Databank. Just get a cup of calf.
Yeah.
Chat. Work things out. Ken, where can people find you?
Hey, you can find me at Ken Napzok across all social media platforms. That includes YouTube.
Excellent. As always, if there are characters that you want to see fight, let us know. Use the hashtag Databank Brawl when bringing up your suggestions on Twitter or Facebook. We are super, super close to 500 ratings and reviews on iTunes. Very, very close. When we cross that, we will do a special episode featuring major characters from Star Wars Databank Brawling. We always like to thank Tony Thaxton for our theme music. You can check out his Patreon at patreon.com/CloudCitySoundtrack. You can also check out our Patreon at patreon.com/ForceCenter. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as at Joseph Scrimshaw. Check out my albums, podcasts, shows on my website at josephscrimshaw.com. You can like ForceCenter on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram as at ForceCenterPod. And until next time, as Luke Skywalker once said, well, no one was really listening to him. I care. That's it for Databank Brawl.